Hello everyone. I had a request about eyeshadow, which is a bit of a weird one because there's really nothing to my eyeshadow. However, I really like to put everything into a historical context and kind of give you the basics on the time periods that you, the looks from the time periods that you're trying to achieve and what's what. I think if you know the basic kind of rules for each of those time periods, then it gives you the freedom to be more confident and creative with whatever you want to do, knowing that it's accurate if you want it to be accurate. I'm completely coming from a place of trying to be historically accurate, says the lady covered in tattoos. I could have been in the circus. So that's just what I'm doing, and I'm not telling you to do that. You can mix it up all you want. If you want a 30s hairdo and a 40s lip and a 50s eye and that's great, if that's your look. I'm just trying to recreate actually the historical stuff, and if you want whatever you want to do with that is absolutely fine. Eyeshadow is unbelievably simple. If you're doing either a 40s or a 50s face, this is a 50s makeup, bar the false eyelashes, which I haven't used because I can't be bothered, quite frankly. If I'm going out, then I will. If I'm not, then I can't be asked. And I have some tips and tricks on how to get good lashes without them, but we will talk about that another time. I have a little bit of eyeshadow on already, I'm afraid, because as usual I've sort of cocked up my initial video. Well, the lighting was crap is what happened. Anyway, I'm constantly talking about how you can save money on products. You don't have to spend a lot of money on products. I'm about to look like a massive hypocrite here, but there is method to my madness. This is my eyeshadow. Yeah, guilty as charged. This is by Chanel. It comes in, I think, at about £38. 4 colours in the palette, as you can see, very well loved. Used every single day for months and months and months. The one good thing about this is that although it's very expensive, it lasts forever because there's a lot of pigment in here. Whereas you may be using other eyeshadows and just going just try and get the pigment. This is barely have to use any of it. The reason that I am so particular about this is cheap eyeshadows contain talc. What's wrong with talc? Then there's a few things wrong with talc. One, talc has been proven to be a carcinogen. However, that's actually not the reason. That's not the reason that I don't use it, but it has. The biggest problem with talc is it damages the stability of the product. When you put the eyeshadow on, you like the color. Oh, this is great. No. You go to work, you do what you do. You go to a gig or whatever, and your face is producing oil throughout the day or the evening. And as soon as that moisture comes into contact with the talc, it alters the color of the shadow. So you will have left with one kind of color and ended up with another. One of the most common complaints is sort of like when you use a color like, say, this one here, it can be, not in this, of course, because this is very stable, but in a cheaper eyeshadow, a lot of people complain that sort of by the end of the day it's become more of a kind of rusty color, because whatever the undertone of that is what tends to come out once you've sweated or oil has come into contact with it. The other thing that's really wrong with talc is that if you're a woman of a certain age, it settles into fine lines terribly. So I avoid this like the plague. I'm I'm a woman of a certain age, so I have to spend the extra money for my eyeshadow. You do not have to use this eyeshadow. There are some very good eyeshadows that you can get. Soap and Glory do nice neutrals. As you'll notice, this is all very neutral. This is the ombre collection. These are very nice light neutral colors. In the 40s and the 50s, eyeshadow colors would either be not used at all or very neutral. You will find the occasional exception to this rule, but usually only in sort of, you know, high fashion sort of stuff. Your average lady is using these kind of colors. There weren't many colors available actually in those days. In the 40s, people used eyeshadow very sparingly or not at all. It was the first time obviously that women were going into the workplace regularly, and makeup just became primarily about lipstick. The fussing had to come way down because you had to get ready for work every day. And then in the 50s, women went back home, into the home, and they retained a lot of the 40s look, but they elaborated on it a bit with your flick eyeliner, which doesn't exist in the 40s. There is no flick eyeliner. And eyeshadow became more popular as well. The eyeshadow I use is a taupe colour, so you can't really get much more neutral than that. Literally all I do with this is I have a double-sided brush here, which is a great brush because this end is very soft. This end is very structured, and it's good for detail, fine detail. I bought this one from Boots, but I'm afraid I don't remember the brand. There are lots like this, and it wasn't a terribly expensive one either, and it's been great. So with this, you just literally do that. With other eyeshadows, this would be quite a messy thing. You eyeshadow everywhere. The other great thing about this one is you don't end up with the eyeshadow that gets all over your face in the process of doing this. And then you just do the entire lid with a soft brush. You are probably, well, obviously you'd be familiar with sort of a classic look that Marilyn Monroe had at points in her career. And I say points in her career because not all the time. It's just become the one that people have attached to. It's become iconic, where she'd wear the very sort of white eyeshadow with the dark socket, which is something she herself referred to as a garbo eye. I think that's a bit full on for daytime, and you would even see in lots of photographs of her that this was more of a, you know, dressing up kind of thing. So I've just covered the entire thing, and then when you get to the socket, all you're going to do is you're going to go much heavier and repeat in the socket. So using the same eyeshadow, but you're going to get a really different effect. And all you have to do is just literally follow the feel of the socket of your own eye, like, and just let the brush sit in there, just back and forth like this. This is why this is a great brush. Don't bring it up any higher than that. This is actually a little bit heavier than I would usually wear it. The next thing we do is we go back to our incredible collection 2000 contour and sculpt. Good grief, these people need to pay me. Using your highlighter and your little stubby hard brush, take a little bit of that and we highlight the brow bone. anything that you think has escaped or is messy can be tidied up with this too. And that is literally it. That is my eyeshadow, people. So you can see why I didn't feel like it really warranted a tutorial, but on second thought, I thought, yeah, why not? Because there's just some interesting factoids around it. Now, a lot of you might be sitting here thinking, well, I've seen girls who are, you know, very retro 50s and have, you know, elaborate eyeshadow. As I said to you, I'm just coming here from a historical accuracy point of view. Now, what I think has happened there is that a lot of girls have copied a burlesque makeup style from the, you know, from the 1950s. And again, as we had spoken before about how in the 1920s, women started to emulate silent film stars' makeup, which was a functional makeup. It was there to make people look expressive on camera. It much the same. Burlesque makeup has to be seen from very far away, so it's heavy and it's elaborate. And I think with the popularity of people like Dita Von Teese, a lot of girls have copied the burlesque makeup that she wears. That's not really something women would have done on a daily basis. That it's showgirl makeup, essentially, and that's absolutely fine. If that's the look that you want to rock, then go for it. That's great. If it works for you, it's fantastic. As I said, I'm just trying to lay this down on a historical accuracy point of view. What you do with it is entirely up to you. So that is it. That is it. If you would be so kind as to subscribe to my channel, I would be ever so grateful. Pretty please. It has been quite bare bones. This is a sort of a brand new thing that I'm doing, and it is improving exponentially, primarily because of the help of my 10-year-old daughter. I'm going to do like a little weekly roundup actually, and so I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, it's all going to get a little bit more, pull it together. And please tell me what you would like me to do next. Any decade, any thing, hair, lipstick, mascara. As I said, I can do a no false eyelash one, which is quite useful. Just drop me a comment, and your feedback is really welcome. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, have a lovely weekend, everybody.